Hello mathematical literacy learners, welcome to the requested video. Paper 2, 2018, question 1. Yeah, I love doing these. It took a long time for me to respond, but I am responding now. This is the finance part of it, which is 1.1, and then there's 1.2 and 1.3, which is measurements. I'm going to do that on a separate video. So I'm going to do this request in 2 videos. I'm going to do finance first, which is 1.1, and then I'm going to do the rest, which is paper 2. Just to make a clear distinction, Mapoju plans to purchase a baki, a motor vehicle. A baki is a motor vehicle. She received the following quotation from a car dealer on 28 February 2018. So the extract means it's just a part of the quotation. Extract of a quotation for a baki from a dealer. So selling price, excluding VAT, without accessories, accessories are extras, as they've written there, is 160,087 rands and 72 cents. And then this money then became discounted by 6,140 rand. Discount means you pay less than you are supposed to. So whatever it is you're supposed to pay, we're going to subtract a discount from it, and then you're going to pay less. Accessories, as they were talking there. So the accessories, since they said that the selling price here does not include accessories, now they're saying this person got, if they get these accessories, smash and grab film, 3,500 rand. I'm not sure what is a smash and grab film. A door protector, 3,500 rand. And then other charges, on-road charges, 4,298 rand and 25 cents. Transaction fee, 1,315 rand and 79 cents. You'd see now, like in most places, you are charged a certain fee, you know, for the service that is rendered, even when you're buying something. Okay, subtotal. Now, subtotal, be very careful of subtotal. Subtotal means that we are totaling everything we've done, but there's something else that we're going to add. So this is not a final total. And then we have the subtotal there. I am going to go ahead and assume that they added everything there. But now let's just be very careful with our addition. If we go up there, this one says discount. That means discount means you have to subtract the discount from that. So it's a negative number. So this one is a negative number because of its name. That means 160 minus 6,000 plus 3,000 plus 3,000 plus 4,000 plus 1,000 should give you 166,561 rand and 76 cents. Then this one says value added tax 14%. So in 2018, VAT was still 14%. And then, of course, it then changed to 15%. I'm not sure if it changed that same year, but yeah. Or if it was changed in, yeah. But yeah. Anyway, so now make sure you don't confuse it. This is an old VAT charge. We now charge at 14%. So this amount here would then not be charged at 14% now. It would be charged, instead we'll just remove the 14% and then charge it at 15%, and then we'll have our VAT, right? Our total including VAT. Okay, use the information above to answer the questions that follow. Calculate, rounded off to 1 decimal place, the percentage discount given on the baki's selling price, excluding VAT. Now, this is an opening question. A lot of marks, really. For 3 marks, I would have given this 2 marks, but okay. When we calculate a percentage, whatever we are calculating the percentage for, we write it at the top, and then we write divide by. And then we're going to check here. They always tell us the percentage discount given on the baki's selling price. So the discount is what we're going to calculate for percentage. So we're going to write that at the top. And then we're going to come back and divide by the selling price, as they say there. So they said we must calculate the percentage of the discount, right? So I'm just going to go back there to the question. It says calculate rounded off to 1 decimal place. I'm not going to worry about rounding off, because rounding off is talking about rounding off is talking about the answer. So I'm just going to say the percentage discount. Okay, percentage of discount is equal to, so that's 1.1.1. So I'm going to take the discount, 6% discount, that's it, 6,140.00, and I'm going to divide that. Remember, again, whatever you're calculating the percentage for, you write it at the top, and then you write whatever they say you must use to calculate the percentage. So here they said we must use the selling price, so I'm just going to write there 160,087.72, and then I'm going to multiply this fraction by 100 to give me a percentage. $6,140 divided by 1,600,87.72, and that should give us 0.038353972. We still have to multiply it by 100 to get a percentage, and then we have 3,835,397,243. Now it's in percentage. We just have to go and do the last part, the third mark. Pretty sure the last mark is for rounding off, and there we go. Round off to 1 decimal place. Okay, decimal comes after the comma. So from here it's whole numbers, units, tens, and hundreds, but decimal comes after the comma. So the first decimal called 1 decimal, 2 decimal, 3 decimal, 4 decimal, and so on. So round off to 1 decimal. This is what they say we must end. Therefore, in order for me to decide what happens here, I have to look at this one here, and then I have 3, which is not affected with the comma because we do have a number there. 8 stays the same because 3 is under 5, and then we have a percentage, and we're done with 1.1. That was an opening question, a very simple one. Show how the amount of 166,561 rands and 76 cents was calculated. Okay, so where is that? 100, this one here. Well, it's called a subtotal. It's very important. When I say show how an amount is calculated, what's the name? It's called a subtotal. And what's a subtotal? A subtotal is a total that totals everything before, but there's still something that's going to be added. So this is a total of this, right? Okay, so I'm adding all of these with the exception of the discount, because discount means that you lower. Like if I'm going to buy bread and the bread is usually 12 rand, actually it's like, how much is Albany these days? 17.99. And then if it's on discount, then by 2 rand, then it'll be 15.99, right? Because it will minus the 2 rand. That's what discount says there. Discount. Take it away. Yes. Do not count. Yeah, that's what it means. Okay. So 1.1.2 is that it's a total. So I'm going to say subtotal. And they added everything. So they said, I'm going to put it on this side here. They said 160,087.72. Okay, so minus 6,140 rands plus the 3,500 for extra accessories. There's 2 of them, so 3,500 plus 3,500 plus 4,298.5 plus the last one there, which is 1,315 rand and 79 rands. This is where I like cross my fingers and hope the answer comes out. Okay, let's see. 0.25, that's the one, that's what I made a mistake there, 0.25. Okay, so again, 160,087.72 minus 6,140 plus 3,500 plus 3,500 plus, I'm just going to continue, I'm going to add these ones here, because I copy things wrong sometimes, actually a lot of times. 4,298.25 plus 1,315.79, and yes, that's how you get the answer. You have to write it even though it's given there. So, because I never know how they mark this, especially for paper one. I'm not clued up with how paper one is marked on the finals, not generally. Okay. Give one reason why customers would prefer to install the accessories, extras, also known as extras, as shown in the quotation. Well, 1.1.3, I'm not going to write it down. We're just going to discuss it. Why would anyone fit in accessories? Okay. So accessories means extras. Why would you then, they sell you a car and then you pay more to have other stuff installed? Well, first of all, it is offered. So a person has the option to choose, and they, oh my god, did I just go blank? When it comes to cars, I really am just clueless. Yeah, I'm looking at these accessories here. I'm trying to figure out. Well, first of all, crime in South Africa. Hello. You wanna, or it could be just that the door protector is just to make sure that it doesn't get damaged. So some people live in rough places. Some people are new drivers. It could be for many reasons, really. I'll leave it to you to make your own judgment on that one. 1.1.3, 1.1.4. So Mapuju has an investment of 1.25 million. The money was invested as follows: 27 months invested period and 6% interest per annum compounded annually. Okay. Let's start with 1.25 million. Now, you can go ahead and use it as like that, but if you continue in reading the question, show whether the interest earned on the investment is sufficient to cover the total purchase price of. This is in full. This is not in words, right? In numbers and words. It's in full, which means you have to make this in full at some point, whether the answer or what. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you how you make this number into full words, because right now it's in numbers and language, right? So we're going to start saying 1.25 million. In order to turn it into numbers, I'm just going to write it. You don't have to write all of this. I'm just writing it for explanation purposes. You have to say 1.25 multiplied by. So what are you multiplying by? This word here. What is this word? It is 1 million. And then you take your calculator, do not guess. 1.25 times 1 and 6 zeros. And that is 1,250,000. It's range, right? Range. Okay, now we have the number in full. We're just going to go ahead and talk about this investment. So investment is putting money somewhere or buying shares and all that stuff for the purpose of growing the money, right? So you're gaining interest in growing the money as fast as you can, or maybe as safe as you can, depends on your choice. Okay, so 27 months investment period. And I see the interest, it says compounded annually, so we don't calculate the interest here in months. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn my months into years, because we're calculating per year. It says here, I'm not assuming, or and that's not something you're supposed to know. It says here, calculate the interest annually, right? So I'm seeing months here. I'm like, no, we don't use months here because the interest rate is annually. Okay, so let me just see. 27 divided by 12, because that's what we're going to do. 2.25. Now, what does this mean? This means that 2 years in full, and then there's a year that's thingy. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, 12 months plus 12 months is going to give me 2 years. So I have 2 years. And then 12 plus 12 is 24. And then I'm going to say, like I said, I'm writing it for all explanation purposes. You can just separate it and then write it properly. And then 27 minus 24, and then I have 3 months. So there's 3 months left here. 3 months. So it's 2 years and 3 months. So the first year we're going to calculate interest for the full year, and then the second year we're going to calculate interest for the full year. But then on the third year they didn't calculate interest on the full year. So we're going to talk about how that's done. Now let's look at the interest. Interest is per annum 6%. All right, so for the first year, I'm going to use 6%. And then for the second year, year 1, I'm going to use 6%. But then what am I going to use for the third year, which is for 3 months here, right? For 3 months here, what am I going to use? Now, I cannot use an interest rate for a year to calculate an interest for for 3 months. That just doesn't make any sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say 3 months is a quarter, right? It's a term. How many terms in a year? 4. So I'm going to say 6 divided by 4, and I'm going to get 1.5%. I don't like the way I just did that. I did it just to show you that you can do it like that. What I like to do is I like to say 6 for a year divided by 12, which is 0.5. And then I look at my months. There's 3 months, right? So for 1 month, it's 0.5%. Now I'm just going to figure out for 3 months, it's times 3, and then it's 1.5. That way, if I turn it into 1 month, and then I can, even if they said 7 months, I can just say 0.5 times 7, and voila. See, I don't have to be like, quarter. No. I just divide it by 12 and get for 1 month. And then if I say, okay, if I've got 2 months, it's going to be 0.5 times 2. If I've got 5 months, it's going to be 0.5 times 5. Okay, so we've got our percentages for each year. So let's start calculating our interest. Now, the question before we calculate our interest, I always I'm trying to get my grade 10s to not just jump and calculate interest because it says their interest, to check why they're calculating the interest. It says here, show whether the interest earned on this investment is sufficient to cover the total purchase. So this here is supposed to be interest, right? So the total purchase end is the interest end. So when he gets the interest, can he take that interest and it be enough to buy this, to pay for this here? So he takes the investment, he uses the interest only to buy here. Is it going to be enough? So we need the interest in order to know if the payment is going to be enough. And then we calculate for interest. So here, year 1, interest is equal to, so now we're going to say he invested 1,250,000 times 6% for the first year, which is 1,250,000 times 6% is 6 over 100. 6 over 100 is 0.06. Let me just double check with the calculator. Don't want to make too many mistakes. And then we multiply that by 1,250,000. 1,250,000, and we have 75,000 rand. 75,000 rand. So for the first year, we're good. Now we're going to go to the second year. Before you move on to the second year, when you're calculating interest, if you're like me and you're forgetful, always keep checking the type of interest you're calculating for every time. So we're calculating for compound interest. That means I can't take that amount of money. That's not how you calculate. Compound interest says check everything you have as your balance before continuing. So we're going to say our balance. Our balance here is equal to the money that we invested, which is 1,250,000, and then it was added by 75,000 at the end of the first year, and then our balance now became 1,250,000 plus 75, 123. It became 75, 123 plus 1,250,000. It became 1,325,000 rand. There we go. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and calculate for year 2 the interest, right? So for year 2, we're going to calculate this because this amount of money and this amount of money are both going to have interest, and that interest is going to be for year 2, and that is how we call compound interest. So 1,325,000, which is the total of these two here, times 6%. Now we're doing the second year. We said it's also 6% again. So we're just going to go ahead here and say times 6%, which is 79,500 rands. As you can see now, the interest in the first year was 75,000. Now the interest in the second year is 79,500 because we have this extra money that we got from first year, and that is compound interest. Okay, so First year, second year. Now we're going to go to the third year, which only has 3 months, right? So first, before we calculate the third year, we need to find the balance. What do we have now? You can start over and say we invested 1,250,000, and then we got 75,000, and then we got 79,500. By the way, that's how I like to do it every time I do my balance. So after the second year, we're going to the third year. We invested 1,250,000, and then in the first year we got 75,000, and then in the second year we got 79,500. I'm just checking 79,500. Yes. Okay. So now the money we're going to calculate interest for is 1,250,000 plus 75,000 plus 79,500. Now it's 140,500. Now this is the money, new money that we're going to calculate interest on, because it keeps adding every year. So now we're going to say year 3, which is only 3 months. Remember, we took the 6%, which was for a year. We divided by 12, and we found out what the interest rate for 1 month is. And then we said, but we do not have 1 month. We have 3 months, and therefore we're going to have 3 times 0,5, 0,5, 0,5, right? Which is 1,5. And then we have 1,404,500 times 1,5%. And that is... And then on the third year, we have 21,067.5 rands, percent. Okay. So now we've calculated the interest for all the months, but we have not answered the question yet. It's like when you are on your way from Durban to Cape Town, and when you get to PE, you're like, I'm done traveling. No, you're not. You haven't gotten there yet. Just because there's an ocean in PE doesn't mean you're in Cape Town. So you're going to go check, where are we going exactly? So we're going to Cape Town, which is the total interest. We need to know if the total interest is going to be able to do that, whether the interest earned on this investment is sufficient. So we need to find out how much interest did we earn. In the first year, total interest. So in the first year, we got 75,000. In the second year, we got 79,500. And in the third year, we got 21,067 rands and 50 cents. Enough to pay. We're checking, will it be enough to pay 100 and let's go to pay for the costs here, which is 189,880 rands and 41 cents. If I take this money and pay this, it won't be enough. So just to be a little bit more a bit technical, you can say 189,880 rand 0.41 when I pay, or which will deduct the cost 67.50 and get the answer there. There'll still be money left, and therefore you can say the statement is not valid. Not enough. That's what they said. It's not enough. They said, will it be sufficient? So no, it will not be sufficient. And that's how you do 1.1.4. When you're looking for that level 7 status, that level 7, like that 80 to 90 to 99%, 100%, I would suggest that once you've mastered like your topics, go back to the 2016, 2017, 2018 question papers and 2019 question papers for paper 2. And do those paper 2 question papers. Do not be hard on yourself. You're not going to get them right at first, but they're going to train you on the level of difficulty, and then you will reach the level 7 status. Here's to 15% with effect from 1 April 2018. The following shows how the dealer calculated the new increased VAT incorrectly. The selling price, including 14% VAT, 160,087 rands and 72 cents, plus 14% off this amount. So I would have calculated separately. I would have first calculated this part, right? And then got this answer and then added the 2, and then, but this calculation is correct, right? So after that, the VAT was increased to 15%. So what did the dealer do? The dealer took this amount here, which is VAT inclusive, or then that was a mistake. Oh, obviously. That's it right there. So it says identify the mistake the dealer made. Well, the dealer, you can't add VAT on money where there's VAT already added. Now he's not exactly, he's adding 1% VAT on, see, let me show you. This is the original amount, right? This is the money that is for the dealer, for the owner of the business. This money here is for SARS. Now what the dealer said was they added the two and got the answer, which is correct for the first year, for the 14%. But then when they were like, oh, we need to add another 1% on the VAT, they went and calculated on everything, which means this VAT amount also got 1%. That was wrong. What they should have done was they should have come to this amount of money, calculated 1%, and then added that amount of money to this total here, right? So this is incorrect, this part here. So 1.1.5 VAT, 1% VAT was also added on the VAT amount, which was calculated at 14%. So that was a mistake. So this one is already calculated, but now you take the answer from here, which is the VAT amount, and you say you're charging VAT on VAT. That's what they did. They charged VAT on VAT. Very wrong. Okay, now what you're going to do here is we're going to say, hence calculate the new selling price. So what they should have done was, there was two ways they could have done this. The first one was they should have said, if we're going to just calculate for the 1% only, it said 1% VAT. Remember, VAT is 15%, but because 14% has already been calculated for, we're just going to go and calculate the 1%. So they should have done was they should have said 160,087.72 times 1%, and that would have given them 1600.8772 rands. Now remember, we do not calculate a VAT on a money that already has VAT, right? So 182,500 already has VAT, so you can't calculate VAT on it. What you can do is go back to the original amount and calculate VAT there. Now, how do I get to 15% when I've only calculated 1%? That's fine. I already have it there at the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say this money, which is the original amount, 160,087.72, plus the 14% that was calculated before, 22,412.28, plus the 1% that I just calculated now, which is 1,600.8772, will give me the money. So this part here is 14% and the 1%. And that gives us the VAT amount in 15%. Not this thing that he did here, where he calculated VAT on VAT as well. He should never have added those two amounts because that's VAT. You do not calculate VAT on VAT. He should have kept calculating on the original amount. The second way is he could have just went and said, we are starting over this year with a new percentage, and he could have gone and said 160,087.72 and multiplied that by 15%, and then he would have gotten the new VAT, and then added that money then to the original amount and got VAT inclusive. Thank you. Okay, so this is the part where I tell you 1.2 and 1.3. I remind you, we're going to do it on the next video because that's paper 2. I not want to add to this paper 1. Okay, keep the requests coming.